Hello everyone, welcome to PRPCoding YouTube channel. I am Praveen Raveendran Pillai. In this session, I shall explain method overloading in Java. So let's start. I have created a calculator class with a method named add. It takes two integer parameters with an integer return type. In the main method, the calculator object is created. With this object, the add method is invoked by passing two values 5 and 5 and is printed in the console by using the system.out.println method. In the previous session, I explained what is a class, what is an object of a class, how to create an object of a class, what is the entry point of a Java application, and how memory is allocated in the stack and heap. If you have not watched it, I highly recommend to watch the video. The link is shared in the description below. In Java, is it possible to have methods with the same name more than once? Let's see that. For that, let me copy this method and paste it here. Immediately, you can see that the code editor is angry. You can see a red squiggly. And if I hover, you can see that duplicate method add in type calculator. Okay. So as a developer, what you will do is like, okay, let me go and rename this method add to add1. Okay. Now the compiler is happy. There is no error. Okay. So what I will do here is, let me go and add one more parameter int third number, and I will add plus third number. Okay. It doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, even if it is two numbers or three numbers, both these methods are different methods. I mean, the method names are different. Okay. So now let's see what happens if I go and rename this method now, add1 to add. This time there is no error. The compiler is very happy. The code editor is very happy. We are having methods with the same name. Okay. Now you might be thinking, if Java allows methods with the same name, then how to invoke this particular add method or this particular add method, or invoke both these add methods? In the main method, we have already invoked one add method by passing the value 5 and 5. Now let me copy this and paste it here, and this time let me pass one more value 5. So this time I am passing 5, 5, 5. Now let me run the application and see the output. In the terminal window, run the command javac main.java. So it will compile the code, and let me run java main. And here you can see the output as 10 and 15. So 5 plus 5 is 10, 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. So everything is working as expected. Now let me add one more add method with two float parameters and returns a float. So I can say float add float first number, comma, float second number, and I will say return first number plus second number. Okay. Now let me scroll down. Let me copy this code and paste it here, and here I will pass 5.5f and let me say 4.3f. So here I am passing two float numbers, and let me go and run this code and see. And the command javac main.java main, and here you can see the output as 10, 15 and 9.8. We got three results, and the last one is 9.8, which is 5.5 plus 4.3. Okay, so everything is working as expected. Okay, we are getting the correct output. That is fine. But the question is still not answered, right? Which add method is getting called? Now, if you look at this code, here we are passing 5 and 5 as inputs. So the compiler will check if there is a method named add that takes two integer parameters. Yes, there is a method named add which takes two integer parameters. Now, if you look at this code, here we are passing 5, 5, 5. Compiler will go and check if there is a method named add which takes three integer parameters. Yes, there is a method named add with three integer parameters. Yes, that's fine. Now, let's go ahead with this code. Here I am passing 5.5f and 4.3f. Now here the compiler will go and check if there is a add method which takes two float parameters. Yes, there is a method named add which takes two float parameters. So we can say that the method invocation is based on the type of arguments that we are passing and the number of arguments. See, for example, if you look at the first example here we are passing 5 and 5. So it will go and check whether there is a method named add which takes two integer parameters. So the number of parameters is 2 and what is the data type? Integer. Yes, there is a match. In the second case, three integer parameters we are passing. So it will go and check whether there is a method with three integer parameters. The number of arguments that we are passing, that is also it is checking. So three arguments are there and it checks the data type also. The data type is integer. Similarly, the last one, here we are passing 5.5f and 4.3f. So it will go and check whether there is a method which takes two arguments. Yes, two arguments are there. And what is the data type of that argument? It's float. Writing methods with the same name with different parameters is known as method overloading in Java. This method overloading is also known as static polymorphism or compile time polymorphism. Okay, wait. What do you mean by polymorphism first? It's a new term, right? Polymorphism means the ability to take more than one form. What do you mean by that? If you look at this calculator class, it has three methods with the same name but different functionality. We can say that same method in different form or different shape. Here, add method is taking more than one form. But why it is called as compile time polymorphism? It is because the methods are invoked by the developer during the development phase or compilation phase. If I type calculator.add, the code editor is smart enough in showing the three different flavors of add method. Now, as developers, we must decide which of the three flavors to choose. Hence, it is called as static polymorphism or compile time polymorphism. Okay, so now I would like to discuss some more topics related to method overloading. Does return type of a method play any role in method overloading? Let's see that. For that, let me copy this method and paste it here. This we already seen that, right? Like if I hover, you can see that duplicate method add in type calculator. So it's a compiler error. Now, what I will do is, let me go and change this data type from int to void. Still, the compiler is not happy. If I hover, it says that duplicate method add in type calculator. So what do you mean by that? It means that the return type of a method does not play any role in method overloading. So method overloading will work from here to here. What do you mean by that? Method overloading will check the name of the method, the type of parameters in the method, and the number of parameters in the method. It does not look at the data type, I mean the return type of the method. Now, let me explain a different scenario in method overloading. In the calculator class, there is an add method in which the first parameter is float and the second parameter is int. The return type of the method is float. Now, in this main method, I have invoked the add method by passing a float value 5.5f and the second number as 5. This we already know it. Now, let me change the value from 5.5f to 5. Here, I am passing two integer values. Do we have a method which takes two int parameters? No. Are we getting any compile error? No. Why? That is because the compiler will check if the value 5 can be stored in a float parameter. It is possible to assign an int value to a float variable. This is called as implicit casting. Let me add one more add method here. So let me copy this method. Let me paste it. And this time I will make the first parameter as integer and the second parameter as float. Okay. Now, if you look at the calculator class, in the class level, there is no issue. But in the main method, there is an error while invoking the add method. If I hover, you can see that the editor says that the method add is ambiguous for the type calculator. So here, the compiler is in a confused state. Which add method should I call? It is not smart enough like humans. Okay. See, if you look at the code here, this value 5 can be assigned to a float. So this is a valid code. Similarly, this 5 can be assigned to this method as well because the first parameter is 5, second parameter is 5. So this scenario is not possible in method overloading. I would like to demonstrate one last thing about method overloading. Is it possible to overload the main method? Let's see that. Now, if you look at this main method, the signature of the main method is public static void main, which takes an array of string as parameter. Now, for the time being, I request you to ignore this static part. It is a reserved keyword in Java. I shall explain in detail about the static keyword in my upcoming sessions. Now let me copy the main method and paste it here, and let me remove this parameter here. Okay, now the method is overloaded and I will change the name as I am custom main. Okay, so the compiler is happy, no error. So it is possible to overload the main method in Java. Now we know that the entry point of a Java application is the class with the main method. Here we have two main methods. So which one will be executed? Let's run the application and see. In the terminal window, run the command javac main.java. Then run the command java main. And here you can see that the output is I am main. It didn't execute our custom main method. I mean the main method that we have added just now. That is because the Java virtual machine will look for a main method which is public static void main, which takes an array of string as input parameter. Now, if you want to execute the newly added main method, then we need to explicitly call that in the main method. I mean, here you can call the main method like this. Okay. So now let me go and run this code, java c main.java. If I say java main, and here you can see I am main, I am custom main. So this is all about method overloading in Java. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next updates. Thank you.